little bit because you guys work for 3 letters, IMB. And I would love to know, Mike and Josh, what IMB is and what it is that you guys do with IMB, and why is IMB here at NCMS? It's a lot of letters to cover. Yeah,
that's a lot in that. So it's a mission organization. So it's been around for over 177 years. So a lot of history in going to places where people are, being present in those places. My role in it is, well, my background is actually in graphic design, marketing, and that side of things. So I've been a gamer all my life. And also...
What's your game? Like, what is it right now?
What is it right now?
Yeah, like
Modern Warfare. I'm just kind of addicted to that.
Okay.
I was playing Destiny quite a bit, but...
Amen, yeah.
I'm trying to do some other things.
Okay.
Outside of that. So anyway, I like to illustrate and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to do those IRL things. But the team that we're on is related to innovation in missions. So it's a team that works globally, even though we're based overseas at specific countries. So we are looking at, like, where does the gospel need to go? Where does missions need to be present that maybe it's not? And sort of what is the thrust of where digital and all those things are going? So for us, we're trying to be in that, understand that.
Awesome. And by the way, IMB is International Mission Board, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And the International Mission Board is part of the Southern Baptist
It's a
Church?
Southern Baptist, right.
Southern Baptist,
the denominational outreach, basically. So the churches that are Southern Baptists, many of them will send missionaries through it.
Okay. Awesome. Josh, what do we miss in that? And tell us a little about what you're doing with International Mission Board.
Okay. Well, first, I am in between games. I was doing the open beta test of the finals.
It's so good, though.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I play and prefer the heavy build. But I'm waiting for Dragon Quest Monster Tamer to come out on the Switch, which is coming out December. In between Baldur's Gate 3, Destiny, Diablo. So I love gaming. Before I joined the company, I had my own business. Before I had my own business, I was in the military. I have been a gamer. I said to Matt that my first game was DOS. I was Snake on DOS. So I grew up with the Sega Odyssey, the Atari, the Texas, the Commodore 64. You know, those were my games. I did play Oregon Trail. So for those of you who don't know what a 5 1/4 actually is, what's that? Who didn't die of dysentery once? What I do with the organization is I am really focused on the innovations, what they would consider to be emerging technology, but it's the existing technology, VR, MR, AR.
Hold on. What is... Hold. I know VR and AR. What is MR?
MR is mixed reality. So the difference between MR and AR is that in MR you actually handle the digital elements. So the best example I can give is if you have seen it's the Ace of Spades movie. I can't remember, or any of the Iron Man. If you've seen Iron Man, where he grabs the screen and then he throws it up, that is MR. You have an interactive digital element. And one of the things that I really believe is that as we continue moving forward, we will be able to see interactive Bibles, digital Bibles on planes where you can grab a Bible and you can throw it up and you can read the Bible while you're sitting in your seat with your AR. Or you can actually reach out and touch someone, call them just by, moving your hand. I have coming something called a wearable keyboard that is going to reinvent how you type. I can have my glasses on and I can actually type a full message by doing this without having a keyboard at all around me. I get to play with these fun little toys and find them because that's what technology is doing. Here's a fun question. How many of you, or who can tell me when the first Braille Kindle was created? Did you even know that there is a Braille e-Kindle out right now?
I'm just trying to...
How does that work?
I'm just trying to think through the possibilities, really.
Well, I mean, imagine for just a moment, every discipleship book, any Bible is immediately accessible, just like an e-reader, and it exists. It came out 3 years ago in 2020. So there's technology that exists that we can use to take the gospel out and share the gospel. And that's part of this nerd culture that we have as well, is these fun little hardware and technology pieces. So that's what I get to do with our organization, is try and figure out how to bring these things in and bring us to these spaces and places.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we talked with the International Mission Board probably months ago now, right? It was months ago as we were getting ready and prepping for NCMS. And, you know, I come from the Northeast, right? There's no Southern Baptist churches around me, but the moment you travel, like, south at all, they're everywhere, right? And so, you know, I was at a conference last week, and there's a ton of Southern Baptist churches, a whole room full of people from the Southern Baptist Church. And so, you know, IMB being as big of an organization as you guys are, being as involved in missions with not just like recently, right, but having a legacy of faithful missions under your belt, right? Longer than probably just about most any other missions organization, right? You have this legacy, at least here in the States, this legacy of faithful missions under your belt, which is amazing. And still also just trying to like remain in the know with what tech is doing and where it's going, right? I mean, obviously both of you are nerds individually, and that was very clear on our call, right? Because like most of the excitement was just like, oh my gosh, we found somebody else who does love Jesus and also plays Destiny and is also heartbroken about the pushback of Final Shape. But I'm just like curious beyond that, like NCMS reaching into this, streamers, creators, all sorts of stuff. What is it that intrigues the two of you to bring the Southern Baptist Church and IMB into the conversation around reaching people through some of the ways that, you know, folks in this room are reaching people? What is the thing that's just most exciting to you for the future?
I mean, in a lot of ways, I see this as a window into the future as we look at like how the generations now are engaging with each other through platforms that are very social, building communities that are online, and how they interact is obviously so different than what it was 30 years ago, whatever, that we know as a missions organization that we can't keep living in the 90s. We can't keep living in the early 2000s. We've got to continue to be present in whatever that means. And it obviously is a struggle when you have this, you know, going on 200 years of doing things certain ways, and then the world is changing in digital in a way that it's not a tool, that it's like places and peoples. So for us, it's like, how can we continue to learn and partner and understand this, and then how can we take that into the organization and help them to learn? Because our vice president over all of the missionary personnel in the world, you know, his charge to me was like, we don't want our organization to be on the outside staring in. We want to be in the middle of the community center as part of the community. And that's important wherever you are. Whatever country you come in, you want to be in the community. You don't want to be outside looking in. And that's really our goal, is to do that. So we've got, I told someone on one of the breaks that, you know, there's a lot of things that we can say that are difficult for an organization like this to accept and understand, but at least we have permission. And the very first step is just permission to go and learn and make network and all those things.
Yeah, that relationship is a really vital first step in that process of like you guys just being here, being such an encouragement to us in what we're doing. You know, a lot of sort of young, new, scrappy organizations, and you guys coming from a legacy organization that's part of a legacy denomination that's been a storied part of the United States and the West experience of evangelical Christianity, to then come in and say, listen, we want to be in the community that you're developing here as well, is really, really, really powerful. Josh, you can respond to anything at my previous question too, but I'd also love you just to talk. You guys are both international, like you're both not, you know, living in the States. how do you see some of this stuff translating from sort of like an American context out into sort of like the international mission field?
Okay, two things first, because I do want to say what excites me is that this is my home. It's when we talk about nerd culture, for me, it's not nerd culture, it's my culture, and it is what I have grown up in. And as Susie said earlier today, I grew up alone, and feeling very, very much alone as a Christian in this community. And it is exciting to see other players, other gamers, whether it be tabletop or video, it doesn't matter, whether it's board or card or just seeing people with a passion and a love for Christ and in this community coming together. That is what excites me. Now, to your question, one of the things that I find amazing and I'm trying to convey within our organization is this idea that although it is international, and we have a lot of individual international cultures, one of the amazing things that happen when gamers enter the gaming world is there is a brand new culture that is created. And even though it is international, it is, I use this phrase, uniquely common. It is a common culture that binds us together. It's a common language. It is a common desire, a common passion, a common heart. And that, amazingly enough, transcends international borders. Pastor Scar mentioned that there's some learning. You know, you still have to learn because individuals bring in their individual words and their individual terms. But there is a heart that is uniquely global inside of this community. And we're able to access people that we may never meet, you know, that we may never see, that speak a different language as their heart language, but we bond together in this space. And that is what makes this a wonderful, unique place for Christians to go and share the love of God.
I love that. I love it. And there's so much truth to that. Like how many people have come into our church family who are from, let's just be real, guys. Texas is an entirely different culture, okay? Can I just be honest with you? If you're from Texas, you're a different breed, okay? And so, like, it's not just like international. It's inside of the context of the United States as well that you see varying cultures, and gaming culture does bridge so many of those things. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being supportive. We're honored and privileged to be part of partnering with what IMB is doing and looking forward to the future for sure. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. Yeah.